Last month, I generated over $350,000 in sales for a Shopify brand that we work with at over a 7.75x return on ad spend using just Meta ads. But here's the thing, the landing pages that we created over doubled the profitability and was one of the main drivers for us to be able to hit that revenue spot. I've been in the e-commerce space for over 8 years now and generated well over $35 million in revenue for brands very, very profitably. And the thing that I see all the time is that brands think that they could just send straight to a product or collection page, or even worse, basically just create a landing page and just never optimize it at all. And that couldn't be further from the truth. And basically with this outdated approach, you're literally missing out on a ton of revenue and profit. In this video, I'm going to show you why landing pages are essential for scaling, and more importantly, how to optimize them step by step. And I'm actually going to show you real examples of each of those things as well. So whether your e-commerce brand's doing $25,000 a month or even over 7 figures a year, this is going to help you out massively. So without further ado, let's dive straight into it. First things first, why test landers? I'm going to be showing you here some data here. That's why you should be testing these landing pages here. So you can see here on this top row here, or this top screenshot, you can see here we have collection page, 5 reasons why listicle, and then struggling to restore on print. That just is quite literally essentially just another landing page version essentially. So you can see here on the regular collection page, we have a return of ad spend of 2.99 compared to 7.45 and 6.55. So keep in mind, this is the exact same ad, this is the exact same audience, everything all stays the same. The only thing we changed is where we're sending them to. And then what you'll notice here on the conversion rate is not only does it double, it actually more than doubles. And then on top of that, they actually spend more on average because they're extra sold on the product and the brand. So that just really just goes to show, and this isn't like just a couple purchases or something like this, isn't just an example here for this time frame, month to date. You can basically see here, it just, we got a good amount, dozens of purchases of data there to kind of prove it there. So, and you can really just see, like literally just doubles the return, cuts the CAC, if you will, almost in half, kind of close. But yeah, that is a really good example. Another one, we got a founders LP, we got a collection page, and then we got a 5 reasons why listicle. You can see on this one here, not as big of a drastic move, but still definitely very solid. You can see here 3.53 compared to 2.78. So the 2.78 is a collection, or yeah, just regular collection page. And then the rest of these are all landers and they're all outperforming it. So something to factor into as well as at scale, when you're really reaching colder and colder audiences that just aren't as in market and all that kind of stuff, you're really going to be able to just kind of just clean house and really be able to convert full traffic a lot more seamlessly at more scale. Whereas a collection page, I find as you scale it up quite a bit and just sending straight to there's not really enough to really get people who are just out of market for the product, maybe going through the issue that you're solving essentially for the product, but there's just not enough there to really just get them over the edge. So that's what these these pages do. And then another one, a lot less data, but also higher AOV products. You can see your AOV 613 for this one here, so a lot higher. And you can see here this collection page versus the 2 landers. This is also why you need to be testing multiple headlines on your landers as well too. So I'll show you actually all the optimizations. But you can see here this lander 1. Imagine if we just did, and the only thing that changed is literally the headline on the top, which is crazy. And now you basically get a drastically different scenario where AOV is significantly higher. Now, obviously not enough data, but at this point, it's just a clear winner. It's just at this point with this budget, they got a smaller budget, not too much stock on this kind of product. It's totally fine. So, but you can see here on this top one here, 9 purchases at 7.45x. Whereas this collection page here, it actually says a conversion, but that was just, as you can see, the revenue 0. It was just them doing a draft order in the back end of Shopify. So at the end of the day, it didn't really count essentially. And you can see your lander to $150 conversion now, of course. Could obviously give this some more time, but we decided to just pause it for now. Focus on this one here with the smaller budget. So all in all, you should definitely see the difference there of why you should be doing it. It's got a very high success rate if you especially follow these tips here into how to optimize your lander. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, I would always do mobile first. The reason why, very simple. If you look it up, you'll notice that 90% of traffic is mobile. Okay. And it should be around there. Sometimes a little bit less. Sometimes it's, even more too. So, but really if it's the 90-10 rule, like 90% of the traffic is mobile, then I would just only focus on mobile. Like I would almost like just not even care too much about desktop. Well, obviously you should care kind of, but you go at the point. Make sure it's dialed on mobile. Very important. And then you're above the fold. So basically that is what happens when they immediately click on the landing page, what they immediately see. And the reason why is because literally 100% of people are going to see this part. Okay. So there's no scrolling required. It needs to be dialed. Okay. So what I recommend is some sort of strong headline. Now, basically I'll kind of skip there. I would say this is actually an important part. I'm actually going to move this up here because this is important. For the strong headline, I would make sure you already have a winning angle from your ads. Okay. So you should know what the headline should be because you've already tested all the different headlines in the different ads. You've already split tested everything. You have something that works. Now you're looking to add some more fuel to the fire, if you will. Now the headline, if you're not sure what that is, it's basically this part right here. So notice on this one here, that leads me to another point is you should always be split testing something above the fold. I would prioritize that because 100% of people are going to see it. The headline, imagery, yeah, I would say those are probably just above the fold. Those are by far the two main things. I'll talk about some other things, split tests as well, that actually move the needle quite a bit. But above the fold, these are going to move the needle. So you can see here, these two here are basically the only thing that changed. And this one here, this ultimate plug and play performance upgrade for your dirt bike, crushed it. Did a lot better than this one. So you can just, yeah, so that's what. Sub headline, in this case here, ends up just being the review there. So we kind of almost mix it in, the review press, it's kind of mixed in there, and CTA button. So if I actually wind over to this here, the CTA button, this actually takes us to here, but then on the shop now, it takes us straight through and then you go straight to the site essentially. So that learn more kind of just drags it down. That way they can go ahead and start seeing the rest of it. But then the shop now kind of just takes them straight there. So hopefully that makes sense there. Yeah, I think that kind of covers that. Make sure you, have a winning angle from your ads. Always be split testing above the fold. I would never just launch just one lander. I would always do some sort of split test right out the gate, launch a few different versions every single time, no questions asked. Like it's just such a needle mover that you should be doing it. Next up is speed. So right here we've got cheetah, leopard, whatever you want to call it. I would say cheetah actually is my favorite animal, actually, to be honest, funny enough, because I love the speed and I think it'd actually just be pretty sick, honestly, be able to see a cheetah one day. So that's on the docket. Do want to see a cheetah one day. But anyways, I digress. You do want to run a speed test here. So, and make sure it's fast. Now, ideally I would say load time less than 2 seconds is ideal if you're really balling like we are. So you can see here, this one here has a load time. You can see how fast that is. That is cheetah pace right there. You can see there 949 milliseconds. So less than a second. For every, I remember seeing the stat, for every 1 second increase in load time, there's it was like an 8 to 10% decrease in conversion rate. So literally, I've actually seen some horrendous load times on different landing pages or on different sites in general. And holy smokes, I've seen some more than 5 or 6 seconds. So you're just losing for just so much drop off. And if someone's internet's not too good or anything like that, it's just going to make it even worse. It might even make it 15 seconds or something to load up your website. And they're just, a lot of meta is all impression-based interruption marketing. So you got to make sure they're click on it. They want to see it right now. People's attention spans have just shrunk and shrunk and shrunk, and just, make sure the load time is dialed. Now, if you're wondering how to test it out, what I would do is I would check this tools.pingdom is a really, really good tool for that. I can leave a link for it, but basically pretty straightforward. It's basically, tools.pingdom. This is a really, really good one. I usually just kind of select San Fran, boom, enter in the URL of any sort and fire up the test, and so you can see there, and basically it'll say the load time. That's basically what I want to look at right there, and it'll give you a performance grade. It gave me a B. Well, I'd say B plus. That's almost an A, so close enough, but that's very, very solid load time there. Okay, next is you want to test out different lander formats. So what do I mean by that? So I would say listicles, blogs, founder notes, even Shopify PDP. So you can see here, these three are all different formats. They'll follow the same formula. So you can see here, this one here is a blog. If I go over here, you can see here, this is a blog style lander. So essentially what it does, has a nice little headline on there, have some sort of sponsored editorial, sub headline, social proof, say it's written by, that's basically just a co-founder essentially there. And then you're basically just breaking down the problem in detail, going into more of it, and then you kind of introduce a solution at some point. Then you need one of these. What is it? Let's say people on Matt. And then boom, the kid's all happy. There's the product, the easiest way to keep it, blah, blah. And then you kind of just go into highlight the main points of the product, secret behind it, all that kind of stuff. And then end it off with some social proof, maybe us versus them, all that sort of stuff. And then we ended up with a little bit of scarcity in terms of hey, it's a limited stock essentially, which is true. If we sold 1 million units tomorrow, I'll tell you right now, we don't have 1 million units in stock. So it's definitely a little scarce. It's definitely not a button. But you can see here, also on this one here, founder note. So this is basically, we kind of talk about basically introducing your story, essentially going a little bit of detail, talking about the problem, and then why you I mean, you can make a ton of different versions of this. We basically did 2 different headlines there and then 2 different versions of the story, kind of highlighting different angles. So that one's really powerful if there's some sort of story behind the brand that the found, like a kind of a founder note, if you will. Last one, this is the trusty old listicle, which they've been working for years and years, and they still work to this day. I mean, they just, out of all of these 3, it's pretty close between the founder note and this one here as well. But I'd say the listicle is a little bit ahead slightly. So they just work, to be honest. Listicles just work. Anyone who tells you the listicles don't work is out to lunch. They absolutely do work. Very easy to spin up. They're just super simple landers, just kind of explaining all of the benefits, making sure that things are prioritized in terms of what they really, really care about. So 1 and 2 is always 100% leak proof and stays in place. Like, that's the biggest issue that people have with this product and really what they're looking to solve. Then after that, it's easy to clean, cut down the reusable, built to last. We actually used one of our statics that worked really, really well, kind of just cut down the yearly costs. 1 and 2 depth about that, and then peace of mind for you and your child. So it's a nice little finishing touch there. Social proof, very, very important. Now, I see some brands some ads, they'll just literally get this wrong. You want to make sure the reviews are either bold or emotional. Okay. Now, what I mean by that, like this one here, or relevant press. Now, this is press, but it's also bold. No product has come close to the ease and convenience of the people on that. Like, it's very bold. Like, it's just no product has come close. This is number 1. It is bold. People on social media and on landers and all that kind of stuff, it is always better to be bold or emotional, highlighting some sort of pain point that's like a negative emotion, solving that, or highlighting kind of a positive emotion that, hey, you're going to get like 1,000 compliments if you're wearing this or something like that. This one here, another example, this made me fall in love with my bike all over again. Honestly, not the best example. They don't have too many reviews. I just don't do too much volume. So this is really honestly the best one we can kind of pick out, but a little bit of emotional. But I'll tell you what not to do. This is what you don't do. So we've been auditing this account recently, and I saw this ad, and I'm like, this is not how you do social proof, okay? This one here is not bold. It's not emotional. It doesn't really grab attention. This product is everything it's supposed to be, and then some. Very happy with my purchase. Like, I saw that, and I'm just like that just has no angle. Like, it's just not bold at all. Like, it just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not that good. Like, it's just, yeah, super happy with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really going to be, oh, thanks, Zen. Like, it's just not really, it just doesn't move the needle. Hopefully that makes sense. I'd move more towards always prioritize doing something more bold and more emotional. Hopefully that makes sense there. And then all the points, you want to make sure, like I was saying, they're prioritized properly. So let's say, for example, on the listicle here, these 2 are highest priority, right? And then easy to clean, reusable, and built to last. Like, you don't mention that until they're kind of like, oh, okay, I really want this product. Like, they're going to want the product, like, okay, it's going to stay in place, and that just solves that, huge objection. And like, okay, it's 100% leak proof. It's going to absorb every drop, all this and that. That like, once they like understand that, they're like, okay, wow. And then it's like, okay, well, it's going to be hard to clean. Okay, we solved that. And then we talk about, hey, it's reusable, built to last, all that sort of stuff. You could actually make a case for this here overall, but honestly, you could actually split test that. This one is actually kind of a main emotional benefit, if you will. You could actually make the case of having that near the top. Comes down to split testing, but I'll tell you right now, this page works already really, really well. So if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And then also, you got to research what the target audience wants, right? So for them, they want something that stays in place and 100% leak proof. Like, that's just the most like common thing. Something that just gives them peace of mind. Like, those are the things that they really, really, really want. And so we're just positioning it all right there, right in front of them, very, very organized, like, and also explaining it just in a very, very visual way, like highlighting this part here, showing the leak proof aspect, showing how it's easy to clean, toss it in the laundry, breaking down the numbers, showing how, affordable it is, all that sort of stuff. Okay. And then last piece here as well is adding an offer on the lander. Not required, but you absolutely can do that. You can see here on the top of these landers here, save 10% off on your first order with code Vortex10, okay? And then basically at the bottom, we'll also have it as well. So if we scroll past down to the bottom, you'll see here, if they make it all the way, shop now and save 10% with code Vortex10. And then when they click through, they can go ahead, boom, do that and use that discount code. So hopefully that all makes sense. And yeah, on this one here, so you can see here all the points that I was kind of highlighting there, the social proof right below, and then feeling the power difference instantly. So it's basically an upgrade that improves the power of their dirt bike essentially. And like, let's be honest, like I remember reading a Reddit post on this audience or on the dirt bike audience, and then one of them was basically talking about how they just want to be able to go faster than their buddies. It's like, that's really what they want. They just want to be going faster than their, like, you know what I mean? They just want to be going faster. So that's just immediately front and center, number one, no questions asked. We're talking about the power difference. And then almost highlighting in a different way, unmatched power control with 10 custom maps, optimized for all routing conditions, plug and play installation. But you can see here, we're prioritizing the main desire and the main want, like they want to be going faster. Okay, so that's why we were positioning that, prioritizing that first. And then a bit later on, then it's like optimized for all routing conditions, talking about the installation, how pretty easy to do, and then design and test with pros. You know what I mean? So you can kind of see the order of importance, how it kind of flows really, really nicely. These here kind of just summarize it in with the icons, and then same thing with these here, kind of talking about the overall brand benefits near the bottom. And then like I was saying, kind of a final headline, sub-headline, call to action button as well there. So everything that is all on brand with their colors there. So hopefully that all makes sense there. But yeah, that kind of concludes the video. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to drop them down below. Drop the video a like. And also if you have an e-commerce brand and you got good proof of concept, doing at least 10, 20, 30K a month plus, we work with brands anywhere from that range all the way up to 20 million a year. And if you need help with stuff like that, so you're like watching this video, you're like, Adam, this all sounds good, but like, I don't want to do this myself. Fine, that is all fair. That is all good and dandy. We will happily do it for you. We love this stuff, as you can tell, passionate about it. So if you want help with this stuff, also scaling your e-commerce brand as well with paid advertising and content, all good stuff, there is a link down below to book in a call with yours truly. So without further ado, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers for watching all the way to the end. I appreciate you. Take it easy. Bye-bye.